It always takes me a minute to set up. Let's see. It's been a while. Oh, I should probably mute my phone. That's my own notification, isn't it? Yeah, it is. That's hilarious. Yeah, definitely want to mute my phone during the stream. Bum, 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 bum. All right, I think we're live. All right, guys, welcome to the 30th Ask Me Anything live stream. Now, for anyone that missed the live portion of this, my schedule lately has been kind of messed up as I missed a couple live stream dates due to life and a bunch of other things that kind of conflicted with my schedule. So I'm trying to get back on that bi-weekly live stream schedule. So the next one should be August 27th around the same time, 12 Eastern Standard Time. So for anyone that is watching the replay of this stream, thanks for stopping by, or thanks for checking it out, and hopefully you can make it to the next live stream. So today I wanted to talk about the plan for the book that I want to write. Now, this was something that I've been talking a lot about, maybe the past year or so, where I've been juggling this idea of wanting to write my very own self-help book or a self-improvement book or whatever genre you would consider it being. And my excuse has always been I don't have the time to sit down and write a book. So I figured this week, let's just work on the general outline, idea, or structure of what the book is going to look like. And so I figured, let's do that in real time during the stream. And then I would love to hear input from you guys too, and to see what ideas that you think I should talk about or write about or will be worthwhile putting into the book. Ligma, what's up, bro? So let me see here. Okay, let me pull up my Google Doc. So I've been working on a Google document where I've been kind of going through each of the chapters. And my idea was to figure out what are the main self-improvement habits that I follow. Or maybe they don't even have to be habits. They could be habits, they could be tools, they could be routines. Like, what are the ideas that I've taken from the self-improvement world that I've applied to my life and have been consistent with over a long period of time? Because a lot of people will try, new diets, new workout routines, new ways of consuming information, and some of those habits sort of fall off in the short term and they don't stick to them. And so I'm victim of that as well. Like, I've had plenty of habits where I've tried and they haven't worked, and I haven't been consistent with them. An example would be waking up at like 4:30 or 5 a.m. in the morning and following one of those morning routines like that guy. What was his name? Jocko Willink. And there's other videos on my channel that I've made in the past where I've sort of documented my progress with trying some of these habits. And if I'm going to write a book about them, it can't be any habits that have fallen off, because then, that's like a disingenuous way to kind of create a story, right? If I don't follow the actual habit to this day, then I shouldn't have any right to write about it. And so I made a list of the ones that I keep up with. And I think there's six main habits that I regularly follow and stay consistent with on a day-to-day basis. Now, maybe there are some days where I do miss a few days, like for example, intermittent fasting is a big one for me that I've been following for many, many years now. Now, that doesn't mean I fast every single day, there might be a day where, let's say on the weekend, it's a Saturday morning and my parents come over, or my brother or my cousins or my friends, and they want to have breakfast together. Whereas normally in my daily routine, I would just skip breakfast altogether to prolong my fast later in the day. But in situations like that, like if you're going to go out to, maybe not a restaurant, but if you're going to go out to a place to eat breakfast with your family, then, I'm going to eat breakfast with them too, right? So obviously there aren't days where I am 100% consistent with all these habits. There's always going to be exceptions, as life is variable, right? Life is not a static experience where we can realistically follow a morning and daily routine day in, day out, every single day for years. Like it's generally just not possible. So yo, Batiste, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. What's the best way for me to put this out? You guys let me know if the volume is okay for my voice and the music. Just let me know if anything is too loud or too soft. Just checking out the live. Show us what you got, man. Even if you can't follow a habit, it's all a good learning experience, and you should talk about it regardless. Yeah, that's a good point right there too. Like, even though, like, I don't wake up at 4:30 a.m. every single day, but I definitely saw the benefits of when I did try it out. And the biggest is just the amount of time that you have for yourself to work on whatever you need to do. And I think this was huge for people that have this excuse, like, oh, I don't have enough time. Oh, I'm too busy. I can't get in a workout today. My schedule is too busy. Or I don't have time to write a book, like the excuse that I've been using. But if you follow like that 4:30 a.m. morning routine, where you wake up at 4, you wake up at 4:30, you wake up at 5, and you're the only one awake in your house, and you have that 1 to 2 hours to yourself to work on whatever you need to work on. That was a time where I felt very, very productive. So there were a lot of benefits that I did see in a routine like that. The only problem that I had was the lack of sleep is a little rough, because if you're going to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, then you got to get to bed by like 8 p.m., 8:30, 9 p.m. at the latest. And the problem for me was, like, my day job, I don't get home most days until 8 p.m. So I'm just getting home from work. I haven't ate anything yet. I haven't taken a shower. I haven't helped my wife with her kids. Like, when I get home at 8, I just can't go straight to bed. So that 4:30, waking up at 4:30 in the morning, it was tough for me, and I couldn't sustain it. But I did see the unbelievable amount of time that was freed up in my day, which was, I could get my workout in the morning, I could get my meditation session done, I could write out my journal, write out my goals, I can make plans, I can go for a run, I can do like a yoga session. Like, there's so much you can do when you're awake, and you should have the house to yourself, because I'm assuming like your family is not going to wake up at that time either. And even if they did, it's probably because they have to go to work. Like, I don't think anybody voluntarily tries to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. So good to see you. Very busy recently. That is why I only watch your videos but don't comment. Hey Batiste, no worries, dude. No worries. I always know you're out there. I always appreciate the support. And I always love catching up during the live streams, especially with how your job and career and your weightlifting was going. I think last time we were talking about you're hitting the gym, right? And you were benching, was it 210? You were benching 200 something, or around 200, I think. I remember we were talking about last time. I've actually finally set up my gym in my garage. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't hit a workout in months. Like around February was when like we were selling our house and buying a new one and moving. And so I had to pack up all my dumbbells and gym equipment. And we were getting in the process of moving out of our house, moving into our new one, and getting all of like the appliances and furniture and bills in order. Like there's so much stuff that was going on with moving that I didn't get a chance to unpack my dumbbells or my bench or any of my workout equipment. And our garage, it was just like full of stuff. Like, you know, when you move, you just have cardboard boxes and boxes just full of crap. And generally you just sort of just throw it into your garage. And so I haven't had that space to work out. But this week I finally cleared it up and I hit my first workout yesterday for the first time in probably since February. So like a good 6-month break, and it felt awesome. Obviously I did lift super light. Like I went crazy light. I think I was benching only 30-pound dumbbells. I think I just went super light. It was just like working on my form, getting back in the routine, and I didn't want to kill myself that first time. So I'm going to slowly ramp up to where I was before. I think I left off, I was at 60-pound dumbbells. So I basically cut the weight in half, and I'm going to slowly progress up after that. Dang, 220 pounds is your personal record. Wow, that's impressive. You're almost at a man's bench. Man's bench is 225. That's like the standard, right? 2 plates. So if you're at 220, so that means you have 1 plate, a 35, a 5, and a 2.5. So you're like 2.5, those like mini plates, those 2.5 plates, you're just a 2.5 plate removed from 245s. That's impressive, man. That was my goal for the longest time when I was going to the gym regularly, was just to get up to a man's bench. You know, I just wanted to be able to bench 2 plates so bad. For whatever reason, it was like, I don't know if it was like an ego thing, but, or maybe it was a jealousy thing. Like I saw dudes that could bench 2 plates and beyond, and I was like, oh man, that's like so cool. I wish I could do that. Like it was something that I was envious of, and that was one of my goals for so long. And so it was tough for me because when I started working out, I couldn't even bench 95. So like I was super weak in the beginning. I have 2 20 kg plates on each side of the bar. Oh yeah, 20 kgs. So 20 kgs is almost like 45 pounds, isn't it? Isn't the 20 kg plates, that's like the same as 45s, isn't it? Okay. This is so bad because like metric system is what we use here. So like, but let me see. So 20 kg plates are 44.1 pounds. So it's slightly off. Huh. So so wouldn't that be like the same though? Like 20 kg plates, that's like the same as a 45. So you are doing a man's bench, but it's just like a tiny bit off. That's just strange. But yeah, dude, you're a beast, bro. Beast Batiste. I'm jealous. Yeah, routine, time management, work and home management, health and fitness, money, space, plus so many more variables, good or bad, that you can't predict, chaotic at times. Yeah, like all those things, right? Like you could lose a job, like you could lose your job, and that might affect your ability to pay for your subscription to a gym, so then it'll be harder to work out. And then now maybe you're out handing out your resumes everywhere to get a job. So now your time management and your schedule is all out of whack. Like life is it's so messy, right? That I don't think you should ever beat yourself up for not being super consistent every single day, because it's almost like it's just not sustainable, right? It's just so difficult. But I think the key here with all this self-improvement stuff is, find the ideas that you can incorporate into your life that, when life does get chaotic and get crazy and you don't have time to keep up with those habits, but you're still able to get back into the swing of things when you do work your life out. And I think that's what's important, right? Finding habits and routines that are beneficial to your life that you can always go back to and add back in, right? So it's interesting. I can't remember the name who helped you with the muscle up. Same thing happened to me at the gym. A 55-year-old man gave me precious advice. He told me that he made some championships in the past. Are you talking about the video, my old video where I was at the park? And then I was like trying to learn how to do the muscle up. And this like European dude came with like no shirt and he was like all jacked. I think that guy had a cool name. I think it was like Raz or something. Yeah, he was like this dude that practiced calisthenics like regularly. Like I think he said he had a membership to a calisthenics gym. So he was someone that he probably did like pull-ups, muscle ups, dips, bodyweight squats, push-ups. Like he probably did those on a daily basis. And I'm talking like high volume repetitions too. Like this guy, I think he could do like 5, 6, 7 muscle ups in a row. Like this guy was serious. And I remember when I talked to him, like, hey man, I'm struggling. I'm trying to do one. And I remember I was like all goofy because I had those elastic, what are those bands called? They're like those giant workout bands. You can use them for stretching and warming up. Oh my gosh, what are they called? There's a name for them, right? Like those workout bands. But anyways, I had them on the pull-up bar and then under my feet, so I was getting like an assisted muscle up. That video. That video. That video was hilarious because like I just tied my GoPro to like the monkey bars at a park, and then I just was recording and just doing whatever. It was so funny, and then just the timing of this like super jacked dude. He just happens to show up, and this, like, if you think about the odds of that happening, like what's the odds of you randomly meeting somebody who can do 5 muscle ups in a row, or who has a membership to a calisthenics park or gym, or knows proper form, or has been training for years? Like the odds of you meeting someone like that in your general proximity of where you live, it's so incredibly low, right? And the fact that on that specific day I just happened to be at the park, learning or trying to do this muscle up thing and I just happened to bring my camera, and I was only there for like an hour, and during that window of 1 hour, that dude just happened to show up as well. Like the timing couldn't have been better. Like it couldn't have been better. Like the odds of that happening was just so low, but it was just so cool because not only did our random schedules meet up by chance, but he was also cool enough to help me out. Like he could have saw me on the monkey bars, like struggling with these like resistance bands. That's what they're called, resistance bands. And he could have just laughed at me. He could have been like, "Oh, look at this weak ass. He's trying to do a muscle up. How pathetic." And he could have just, pulled up right beside me, did a whole bunch of reps, and just, made me look stupid. But he didn't do that. He was a cool guy, right? So super interesting how things work out. I agree. My parents passed away when I was a teenager. Oh man, sorry to hear that, dude. That's rough when you're a teenager. Shit. The only thing that helped me was quitting school to work. Learning routine at a young age and dealing with grief really beat the man into me. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. 15 years later, I'm pretty successful in some aspects. Habits do pay off. Well, so if you're a teenager, did you have to drop out of, so that's like high school, right? So you have to drop out of high school to work? Were you old enough to get like a legitimate job, or did you have to work like under the table for cash? That sounds wild. But it's like at that age, if your parents pass away, like what do you do? Like you have to go live with an aunt or an uncle, or hope that you have like an older sibling, a cousin. Because if not, then it sounds like you had to take care of yourself. And like life hit you hard then, bro. Holy. And you really were forced to learn like discipline and work ethic and routine. Yeah, that will turn you into a man real quick, or a woman real quick. Like stuff like that when you're forced. Much respect, bro. That's pretty crazy. 15 years later, dang. When I started boxing, one day a 40-year-old man with a huge Slavic accent came. A huge Slavic accent. That's funny because as soon as I read Slavic accent, I envision like this giant, burly Eastern European grunt of a man. You know those guys from like the Eastern Bloc that grew up in tough times. Those are bad dudes, man. He told me that he was doing illegal boxing fights in Poland. He had so many scars. Cool dude, by the way. Oh my god. Illegal boxing fights in Poland? Jesus. What would be an illegal boxing fight? Like street fighting, bare knuckle? Like in those underground betting worlds? Like I've seen those before. Those are wild. Where like dudes will fight bare knuckle, like in a warehouse or like a field, and then there'll be all these people just like betting money. Like that's wild, because you could die. Like imagine if you're like the thing that scares me the most about like street fights or like those underground fighting or illegal boxing or whatever. It's like a lot of time it's outside, and when you're outside, there's concrete everywhere, and I could just imagine like being knocked out and then having your head bounce off the concrete sidewalk or curb. Like you can die from that. Like that shit is crazy. Those are some hard dudes. I got an apprenticeship as a bricklayer so I could leave school at 16. Oh wow, that's interesting. I was all by myself after that point, so school was pointless for me. And cheers for the respect. Damn, dude. That's impressive. Like that's really impressive. Like if I were to think back, like when I was 16. Okay, so when I was 16, that what is that? That is grade 10. So in grade 10, what year was that for me? So that's 2000. So I was probably watching like Shaq and Kobe on the Lakers battle Allen Iverson. And I was probably playing basketball all day long, playing StarCraft all night with my friends. You know, going to parties, going to clubs, playing pool, you know, drinking, getting drunk, like, and then going home to my parents who paid for my house, paid for shelter, food, electricity, water, like did everything. Like I couldn't take care of myself for shit. I couldn't do anything. I'm pretty sure I had a part-time job at 16. Like I think I was building snowblowers or lawnmowers or something at like a home hardware type of store. But damn, just to have to quit school and become a bricklayer, like that's serious labor, man. shit. like people don't appreciate, I don't know what you call those jobs. Are they tradesman jobs? Like, you know, those jobs that are like a roofer or an arborist, a plumber, an electrician, a bricklayer, a carpenter, like those like type of tradesmen. Those jobs, I have a tremendous amount of respect for those people, because that's difficult ass work. Like, I helped my dad build his, well, what did we build? Like a shed? Like, he has this like little shed at his house. You know, like a normal tool shed where you would keep like your lawnmower and your yard waste bags and your bicycles and stuff. So like we built the shed at his house, and then we did the roof, and he wanted to put proper shingles. And so I said, yeah, I'll help you. So like I went up on the roof, and I was laying shingles with a tar, and I had the nail gun. And this is just like a tiny tool shed. This isn't like the house. And it was hard work, man. Like laying shingles, carrying pressure treated lumber, laying bricks. Like, dude, those are serious jobs. Like, those are serious jobs. I have tons of respect for people that do that type of work. Thanks, bro. This is actually my first time venting about it, so it's nice to get it off my chest. No, thanks for sharing, dude. I love the story. It's super interesting. It's inspiring too. Because there's lots of people like myself that when we were teenagers, we had it good, and we were just weak human beings that were just protected and coddled by our parents. And a lot of people don't want to admit that, but that's what it is, man. Like, so there's so many people in this world that grew up so weak because they don't go through any adversity. They go through nothing. Though eventually I did go through tons of adversity in my life, but it wasn't as young as 16. I think it was like around 21 when my life started to get crazy. But yeah, 16, I was still, I was still like leeching off my parents, living a sheltered life. So I always love to hear stories, and because it gives you perspective, right? It really makes you think like how lucky you are to have what you have if you haven't lived any other life, if you never struggled. Like, I'm not saying, like, I was never rich. Like, I wasn't in like a rich family or anything by any means. Like, I was probably lower to middle, like average middle class, right? We had a house, right? We had our own house. It was a small house. It had no garage. It had one washroom, right? That was the house we lived in, right? It wasn't like a big house by any means. We didn't have money to buy all like Nintendo or Sega or any like the new systems that came out. We didn't have money to go on vacation all the time, but we had food, we had shelter, I had a bed, right? So like if you don't know any other way of life, then you'll never really appreciate how lucky you had it, right? And I had it, I was pretty lucky. I was given a chance, to go through my teens and, someone that could experience a world, but other people aren't as fortunate, right? And it's tough too, because like, it sounds like both your parents passed away. Like, how hard that is for some people that would never go through. Like, people don't understand how hard that is. Like, even for myself, I'm 37, right? And I'm lucky enough to have two parents that are very supportive of what I do, and they love me, and they've always cared for me. They always have my best interests at heart. I can always talk to them and ask them for advice. And a lot of people don't have that, right? And like, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have them to guide me up until this point. I'm sure I would have been forced to learn earlier, right? But it's crazy though. Like, just thinking like, how would I have lived my life if I didn't have my parents to kind of guide me, right? I don't know. I have no idea where I would be. Like, would I have taken the chance or taking these risks to pursue something that I love to do, like videography and all this streaming stuff. I don't know. Who knows? I know what you have been through, Ligma. Not at the same age. You are strong, bro. Yeah, man. 100% agree with Batiste. You're tough, dude. You're from Australia? We call them tradies. Tradies. Yeah, if there's ever you know what I talk to whenever I talk to young people that always ask me for advice on what they should do in the future. And I'm always like, if you have no idea what to study in college or university, or maybe you don't want to go, or you haven't found a subject yet that you love, but you want to do something, I always recommend people like learning some type of trade or some type of skill is always going to be beneficial, and it will always compensate you well. Because if you think about society and the younger generation, like what do young kids want to do? Young kids want to do like anything related to YouTube or streaming or podcasts or video games or social media or tech or IT or computers, like everything, not everything, but a large majority of jobs that young people want nowadays, are computer related, tech related. Like nobody wants to build a fence, build a deck, put on shingles on a roof, cut down trees, fix plumbing or electrical. Like no one wants to do any of these trade type of jobs. But I think tradesmen are always going to be extremely valuable. Always. Like you're always going to need tradesmen, right? And even if you learn a trade and maybe you don't like it, right? Maybe you don't like it in the future and you want to quit, but you'll still learn valuable experience and skills that you could apply to your own life maybe later down the lines when you buy a house. And then if you were an electrician, now you can fix all the lighting in your house. You can put in dimmer switch lights. You can change the way you want your outlets. You can rearrange things in your house. You'll have like a valuable skill set that you can use that you could also even sell on the side. Like, how many people in my neighborhood post ads for like, oh, hey, I'm a handyman, right? I charge like $50 an hour. I can fix bricks, electrical, faucets, drywall, fences, patio stones, like those type of guys. They're always in demand. And whenever I talk to them, like, oh, I'm always so busy. There's always someone that has a busted roof or a window that's not insulated properly or a water tank that's leaking. Like these are super, super valuable skills to have that if you don't know what you want to do in university, or maybe you have no interest, maybe you don't even care, maybe if you don't even want to go, like learning some form of trade, in my opinion, like there is no downside. Like I don't see any downside to learning those skills because they're so applicable to life. Yo, is that Red? Yo, what's up, Red? What's going on, dude? You enjoying the NBA offseason? Good to see you, man. I'm glad you still have your parents. They're a true treasure. It's been hard without mine, but my progression through life has been extremely lucrative without them. I'm a man of many skills. Wow, dude. Congrats, man. That's that's a real clap, by the way. That wasn't a golf clap. That's the odds of you, like if you think about that, like think about like losing your parents when you're 16. Like for most people, the odds of them coming out of that experience and being successful and being, well, you said extremely lucrative. You sound like you have your career in order. You maybe you make good money. You're good with your finances or whatever you've done in your life. So many people in that situation, they take the why me mentality and they go the other way and their life is a mess, right? Like that you hear tons of stories like that, and it's I love that you say I'm a man of many skills. I like that, dude. That's awesome. Good for you, man. Good for you. I'm happy for you, dude. That's super cool. That's super cool. Been good, man. Hope all is well with you and your fam. Yeah, it's everything's been crazy. It's crazy. My son is, let's see, in 4 days he's gonna be a month old. So right now my son is 3.5 weeks. My daughter's like 2.5 years old. So I'm actually on parental leave right now. I've been off work for the past 3 weeks, and I have another 2 weeks off. So I've been using this time to really get things in order around the house. I would love to show you, but I cleaned out my garage. I have a nice like a bench, this little section where I have all my tools and everything, and I cleaned all the clutter out, and I have my dumbbells set up and my bench. I kind of got to get a couple more things set up, and I wanted to get my office done. So I started moving some of my art and pictures on this wall and this shelf that I made. So yeah, man, life's been crazy. It's sort of been like my wife takes the newborn, our son, and then I take our daughter, and we kind of just like look after them the whole, like that's what the whole day is. Like there's a time in the afternoon where my daughter goes down for a nap, so we both get like a window to relax. But man, like if you guys ever want to have like kids in the future, like the amount of energy, time, and dedication it requires to raise kids, it can't be understated. It's an unbelievable amount of time and energy and focus and patience that you have to sacrifice from your own life. And even with me and my wife being off work, it's still hard for me to find time, to create videos and to do this type of work that I love to do, right? However, having kids, it gives you this unbelievable amount of motivation to be more disciplined, because now it's not just about myself. Like before, I want my career to prosper because I want to, for me, right? Like for a selfish reason, like I want to make money, I want to be successful, I want to do work that makes me feel fulfilled. But now it's not just for me. Now it's also for my kids, because now you have these tiny human beings that rely on you, where you can't afford to have them grow up and let them have a father that's a loser. Like that is extremely important. Like if you have kids, you can't let them grow up with a father that's a loser. You just can't. You're just letting them down. And every day I always think like that. Like I'm always like, man, I can't be a shitty dad. I can't be that guy who isn't here or doesn't help or doesn't know anything or isn't prepared or doesn't work hard or isn't disciplined. Like, so these self-improvement habits that I talk about, these past 3 years, they've been huge for me. Like they've been huge, especially with like my time management, my ability to get away from instant gratification, to quit PlayStation, to quit Xbox, right? And to sell my Nintendo Switch and get away from watching Netflix all the time and movies and being more disciplined. Now, when I don't have time to even work on any of the stuff that I want to do, right? I'm used to doing difficult tasks. I'm used to doing difficult things. And if we're talking about Derek from 2015, and I had to make those sacrifices then, I don't know if I'd be able to do it, right? So I'm so happy I started down this road, because, when push came to shove and I had kids and now I have people that rely on me, I am a more confident, more reliable human being, right? And that's what's really important to me. And so kids will really open up that world for you. It's wild, man. Like you have days where daughter wakes up at 2 a.m. screaming, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., won't sleep, screaming through the night, crying, wants milk, needs to change your diaper, doesn't want to go to bed, and you're exhausted because the whole day you spent cleaning the house, fixing things, taking your daughter to the park, paying your bills, cutting your grass, or whatever else you have to do, wash the dishes, doing the laundry, and now you have nothing left. You have nothing left. You've been awake for 20 hours and you're exhausted, and now your kid's screaming, and you have to get up out of bed, and you have to provide for them. And if you're a weak human being that has never overcome any adversity in your life, then you're just going to crumble. And it's tough because I'm not saying it's easy. Like it's still hard as hell. Like there's these nights where I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so difficult. This is so difficult. Like I don't know how I'm gonna like get through this, right? But again, it's like that mentality, that self-improvement mentality. To push through, do what's hard, do what's difficult, and you'll come out on the other end a better and stronger and more reliable human being. So yeah, it's been wild, man. It's been a wild couple weeks. Congratulations on your new baby. Exciting stuff, I bet. Yeah, thanks. We're family's complete. I'm super lucky, dude. Super lucky. I have a healthy daughter and a healthy son. Like, what else could I ask for, right? I have one of each. Both are no health issues, no health problems. They have like some of my food allergies, like and my like skin problems, like with eczema, but those aren't life-threatening. Why can't I say that word? Life-threatening. Those are like cosmetic issues. It's not the best, but I'll take that over like some type of heart disease, right? So oh, Ligma, you have a kid? Oh, she's 5 and the joy of in a hectic life. I couldn't imagine losing her, and she's been a big step in my progression. I'm sure you'll love how it changes you. Oh, 5. That's cool. So your daughter is, what is that? Is that grade 1? She's in school then. Well, no, not school now because summer break, right? But a 5-year-old is grade 1, right? Or is that senior kindergarten? I think actually it depends though. You're in Australia, right? Yeah, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So now it's not only working for your own goals, it's working for your daughter, right? Like you want to be a good father or a good parent for your daughter, right? You want to show an example. You want to raise them right. You want them to be a good human being, and they need you, right? They rely on you. Hey, Bo. What's up, Bo? Good to see you. Listening to the fact that you're even there for your kid is better than half of the dads out there. Oh man, yeah, that's an unfortunate thing, right? I never even had a dad to talk to. The one thing I want to do that I never got to is to throw a ball with him. Oh man. Man, you guys are like, guys are hurting my heart today, man. Like, that's so sad. Shit. The one thing you want is to throw a ball with your dad. Oh my gosh. That's wild. Like, I have memories of being in the backyard of our house as a child and just throwing a baseball with my father. Right? My dad, he liked baseball. He had me playing in baseball house league teams. We were always at the park practicing batting, and he would pitch to me, and like those memories are invaluable, right? And it's crazy because I never liked baseball at all. Like I gravitated eventually more towards basketball. Now I love basketball, and I could care less for baseball. I find it so boring. But it was an interesting time because I remember when I was like 8 years old, in our backyard of our house, throwing the ball with my dad, pretending I was a pitcher, because that year the Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series, and the year after they repeated. And so I was like this kid, 8-year-old kid, throwing the ball in the backyard with my dad, pretending I was one of the Blue Jays pitchers because we just won the World Series 2 years in a row. That's a memory that I have with my father. It's like, it's a great memory. It's a great memory to have of your childhood. Just, having someone there that you can share that moment with. Right? And that's something that I want to do with my son. Right? Like, hopefully, I'm secretly hoping that my son loves basketball, because man, if he's really into basketball, just things that I could teach him. And because like basketball was like my life for like the longest time. Like, I was a basketball referee, I was licensed, I used to get paid as a referee, I was a coach, I used to play, go to camp, like I did everything basketball. And so like I want to give my son that memory as well too, right? It could be maybe in the park kicking the soccer ball, or throwing the football, right? Or playing basketball, or maybe playing tennis, or anything, or whatever he wants to do, right? Just giving him that opportunity to have that memory is what's important, right? So, yo, Swen, what's up? What's going up, my brother? So yeah, we kind of got off topic, but I was talking about in the beginning about writing a book. I'm working on a self-improvement book that I want to write. I kind of just started what the chapters and the outlines would be, and I figured I would talk about what I've been brainstorming, what I've been working on, until people showed up to the stream. But luckily, Batiste, Ligma, Red, and Bo all showed up. We had like a cool conversation about being a good human being, right? About being a parent, about being someone that is like, it's also not just being a good parent to your kids, but also like, if you can help your son or daughter, right, live like a positive life as they grow in age and mature, then they can become a fully functional, positive asset to society and humanity, and be a good person. Like, we need more good people in this world, and it starts with the parents, right? And I know that people have this like argument between, nature and nurture, and some kids are just born this way, but I feel like it's both, man. Like it's both nature and it's nurture, right? Like, you need to be there for your kids in order to give them a chance at life. Some kids are tougher than others, like Ligma, for example, and just beasts through life, and it somehow makes it, right? But not everyone is that strong, right? Not everyone is as strong as Ligma. And some other people, they need a helping hand. And so it's just important, right? It's an important thing that we need to talk about, and it's one that it applies to me now because I'm going through it on a daily basis. Sob fest. No, it's okay. It's I think it's a good thing to hear, right? It's like this stream. The reason why I title AMA, like, AMA is Ask Me Anything, right? This is not just about like my life. I don't want this stream to just be about me. Right? I like to talk to you guys and and connect, and also learn things too, because this isn't, and I say this a lot, like, this stream isn't just for you guys learning from my experiences. I gain and I benefit from listening to your stories as well, because it gives me perspective, right? It really helps me with molding and shaping my mindset and the way that I view the world, because I'm someone that believes in multiple perspectives from other people. And you need to, at the end of the day, you need to make choices for yourself. Like, you should never just blatantly follow someone. Like, you should never just follow what I say. For example, you should question these ideas that I bring up. Like, when I talk about all these self-improvement habits that I follow, if it's intermittent fasting, taking cold showers, gratitude journaling, exercising, right? Whatever concept or topic that I'm talking about, You should always question it. You should not take it as truth, right? And this is something that you need to converse about. You need to talk about. You need to think about. And that's exactly what this is. And this is why I love it so much. It feels like I have a podcast that I do at maybe like once or twice a month. And I love it because I get to talk to people from all over the world. Like I've talked to people from the US and Germany and Australia and China, like and India, like people from all over the world. And it's helped me, learn more about what other people have gone through. And I think it's a great thing. It's a great thing to do. A great man once said, "It takes three wipes to realize you only needed 2 wipes." What on earth? What? It takes 3 wipes to realize you only needed 2? What the heck? Yes, question everything, learn everything. Yeah, it's important, man. I feel like that it's so important. Like everything in life, everything. Like I feel like, especially with the internet, like we have access to so much information nowadays. Like back in the day, I don't know how old all of you guys are, but like when I was like a kid, like in the 90s, someone could tell you something and you couldn't refute them because there was no Google. You couldn't Google the statement that they just said, and you couldn't verify it and fact check it in real time. Like there was none of that. You would have to either take them for their word or sniff out their bullshit just with your human senses. And that's a very difficult thing to do. Like it's very difficult to sense out when someone is full of shit. Right? Especially when someone is charismatic and confident and and comes up to you and tells you something that is so profound and they're like 100% sure it's real. And if you can't fact check that in the moment, it's like, oh, like how do you know if it's bullshit or not? Right? It's very difficult. And I feel like that was the old way of the world, right? And people had these ideas and beliefs and mentalities where this is who they are, this is what they believed in, and this is how they're always going to be. And sadly, this is something that you see in religion, you see it in politics, you see it in the way that people will treat other people based on where they live or their skin color. And it's a really sad thing, right? And it's tough because no one wants to admit that they're wrong, right? No one likes to do that. No one likes to be like, oh, I was wrong for what I said, or you were right. Like it's so hard for people to admit when they were wrong and someone else was right. Like if I were to say something, right, and then and then someone were to correct me, that doesn't feel good, right? Because you feel stupid inside. You feel like you're dumb. But the correct decision is to be able to take criticism and take in all different forms of information, right? And choose what's good and sift through what is bad, and then make a decision on your own based off all of those variables, right? So that's what I think is so important to do, because especially with the internet, like I could say something crazy and you guys could go to Google right now, Google it, and find out if I was lying or not. Right? And that's going to take 10 seconds. So in the moment, you can refute something that I say if it's truth or if it's a lie. And you can get down to the bottom. You can get to the real conclusion instantly. And you couldn't do that back in the day. So I feel like, especially now, you should be skeptical of everything you hear, especially things that are too good to be true, right? Because you can fact check. You can, like, even, what's that website called? Snopes? Like you can Snopes things. You can find out if it's been debunked, if that's true. There's scientific studies on everything, and you can just figure out what is objectively true and what is not. So it's an interesting thing to talk about and to do, but it's a more difficult one to practice, right? Because I think it's so easy for people to fall into these little groups or communities where you talk to like-minded people who believe in the same things as you do, and then you just kind of rub each other's backs or massage each other's egos, and you just have this like agree fest when you just all agree with each other about these same ideas that you believe in, and you never accept anything from the outside, right? So I think that's what the best decision to do is. And again, that's just my opinion, and this is why I like the podcast. I can have like one-on-one conversation with someone. They can tell me something and I can refute it or ask them, okay, why do you think that way? Why do you believe in this? Why do you think this is good? And then maybe there's like a little nugget of gold from their wisdom that I can take and apply to my own life. Or I could find something where, I don't necessarily agree with that, or maybe, that's probably not applicable to my current situation, and you can figure it out. But if you never have those conversations, and if you're never open to finding new answers, then you'll never get there, right? So for me, it's super important, which is why I love this stream, right? I feel like streaming, especially on a platform like YouTube, is so important just for transparency. Because like you can watch a YouTuber's videos and that they have been edited in their Final Cut Pro or Adobe or DaVinci Resolve or whatever their software is, right? And all the mistakes can be edited out. All the times they misspeak, or they say or like, or take a deep breath, or they screw up. Like you don't get to see any of that, right? So you get this distorted perception of what that person is really like. And streaming, on the other hand, it removes the curtain for your ability to hide. And now, when you're being forced to speak in the moment to the camera like I am right now, like I can't hide behind any of my software. I can't edit this past sentence out. I can't take it out. If I say it, I say it, and it's there, and it's on me, right? So you get to see who I really am in the moment. And this is very important, especially with people's beliefs and the way they think and the way they talk. Like if we have a live stream for 2 hours, and I'm going to be talking about all this stuff, right? Like you're gonna see me for who I really am, and you'll find out if I'm a fraud or not, and you'll find out the type of person I am just by the way I talk and think about things, right? Because I won't be able to hide from that. And so for a content creator, it's scary, right? Because now I'm like, oh man, if I do a live stream and I say something stupid, it can be recorded, it can be cut out, people can quote me for it or call me out. And I'm like, you know what, that's good. That's what I need. Or maybe that's more beneficial for me. So I absolutely love this live conversation where I am forced to be put on the spot in the moment in a real live scenario, to talk about what I really believe in, and talk about what I think, and talk about sharing, like to share my story, or to listen to a story from one of you guys. And I know I think it's just a great way to it's a great way to grow as a human being, in my opinion. Internet is a good servant, but a bad master. Oh, that's interesting. The internet is a good servant, but a bad master. Oh, I see where you're going with that. In my opinion, Wikipedia is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. Accessible anytime and free information. It is something we are used to today, but damn, I am so grateful for this. Ooh. It's even an offense to edit false details into Wikipedia. Straight to court you go. Oh wow, really? I didn't know that. Okay, so let's unwrap that topic right there. Wikipedia. Man, imagine, like, I wish I had Wikipedia back in the day. Like back in the day, I had to do like a book report. I don't know, about a country, Mauritius, like an island, and I have to go to the library, get an encyclopedia, or go to the section of the library about geography and find a book about the country of Mauritius and go through the information. Like, but now you can just Wikipedia country of Mauritius, and you have like population, you have climate, average temperature, the longitude and latitude of where it's located in the world, the language that people speak, the population, the demographics. Like, you have everything just all on this one page. You get like so much information. It's like, I love it. It's awesome. The only problem with Wikipedia I have is I go down these like Wikipedia rabbit holes where I'll like read something interesting and it just gets me hooked, and I just like keep reading and reading and reading, and then like somewhere, you know how they have like hyperlinks where you'll be reading about a country, and oh, like this famous dude from Mauritius, he swam this many kilometers in the ocean for over a couple days or whatever. Oh, that sounds cool. So you click that guy and you read about how he's like this crazy swimmer. And all of a sudden then you go into like a next link and you click about man-eating sharks. And now I'm like learning about the ocean and deep sea creatures. Then I click on some next thing about this like wild octopus that we found that was 50 feet in the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. And I'm just like, and all of a sudden you realize 2 hours have gone by, and I'm just like, shit, what am I doing? Like, I started off learning about the country of Mauritius. Now I'm reading about 50-foot octopus that live at the bottom of the ocean. Like, you go on these wild goose chases and tangents when when it comes to things with Wikipedia. That's probably my only problem, is like my curiosity kind of kills me at times, because I'm too curious, almost to a fault, where I'm always like, I want to know about this, or I want to know about that, or what happened here, or what happened there. And then it just, it's like the overstimulation, it just becomes overwhelming, and it sucks up all my time, which is kind of funny in hindsight, right? But yeah, I love Wikipedia, and also that it's like, it's free and it's just accessible, and like anything you search, like Wikipedia has like everything in there. Like, just even like you could search for like the most obscure topic or reference or person, and there's more than likely an article about that on Wikipedia, which is what makes it absolutely amazing. But yeah, love me some Wikipedia. Okay, let's see. 1 sec. Da, 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 da. Okay, so you guys, so anyways, I want to go through my book a little bit. Feel free to ask more questions or talk about whatever you guys want in the chat. Also, if anyone's watching this after that missed like the live stream, I would love to hear feedback in the comment section. Even though if you missed the live stream now and I'm not able to respond to you, if you do have like a question for me, if you leave it in the comments, I'll definitely respond anyway. But this week, I started planning out my self-improvement book, and I was thinking about like how I want to set it up, and I realized that I'm just going to talk about like probably 6 or 7 core ideas that I've followed for at least 2 years plus. And so what I mean is that, like, if you look on my YouTube channel, there's all these type of random things I've tried, like learning how to do a muscle up, and then trying like a morning routine where I wake up at 4 in the morning. Like, I've tried all these things, and even though there are lots of benefits in them, I feel like if I can narrow down my subjects to just like the ideas and topics that I've performed at least 2 to 3 years on a consistent basis, then I'd be confident in the information that I'd be sharing in a book, and for it to be book worthy. So that's something that I think. Like, for example, yoga is one that I really believe in. Like, I feel like yoga is like a great benefit in terms of like your flexibility, warming up your body, your mindset, stretching, like everything about yoga I think is great. It's just great. But realistically, how many yoga sessions have I done in my life? How many times have I practiced yoga at home or at the gym, or had a hot yoga session where I signed up for? Like, not many. Like, there aren't many at all that I can remember. Do I practice yoga on a regular basis, like a daily basis? No. On a weekly basis? No. On even like a monthly basis? No. So even though I believe there's tons of benefit to something like trying yoga or Pilates or some form of stretching in your daily routine, I don't have enough personal experience with doing it myself where I don't think I deserve to talk about it, especially not in a book. Like, there's no way. So, so just like under that type of criteria, things like yoga, even though I do 100% believe in their benefit, and I do believe that you should try it or at least add it to your routine, I don't think I deserve talking about it. So things like that I have removed from the book entirely. Hey, Forrest is here. Whoops, that was my keyboard. Hey, Forrest. Good to see you. How you doing? Oh, Snoopy. You got the Snoopy logo. always love catching up. Yeah, the stream has been super awesome today so far. You guys have like had some wicked stories, awesome questions, just really enjoyable for me. But yeah, Forrest, I'm finally planning out the book that I want to write. Right now I outlined, let me see, 7 chapters, which will be focused around 7 different subjects. So I think that's what it's gonna look like. Where each chapter I'll kind of deep dive into a certain topic and sort of share everything that I know and share my experience as well. And maybe kind of outline it like that. I'm not entirely sure. You feel that maybe you have an imposter syndrome on some subjects. Yeah, there's a couple. Like there's a couple. The intermittent fasting one is a super weird one to me. Like, even though I've practiced it for like 7 years or something, that one still feels weird to me. It still feels weird that I know so much about fasting and that I actually practice it. Like, even today, like right now, like it's in Canada, in Toronto, it is 1 o'clock right now. So the last time I ate was last night, and I woke up. What time did I wake up this morning? 8? Woke up at 8. So I woke up at 8, had my water, black coffee, no breakfast, right? So we're talking 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So I've spent 5 hours. So I've been awake for 5 hours today, and this is what a normal day looks like for me. Like, I don't eat breakfast. I try to prolong my first meal to later in the day. And I don't have, to be perfectly honest, I have zero hunger right now. I have no cravings for food whatsoever. I've been filling my body with liquid. I have like a giant 2-liter bottle of water. And for the stream, I have like an energy drink, like a 0-calorie energy drink, which I know aren't the best things in the world. But I love having like an energy drink for my stream, like a form of caffeine. I just love it. It's just like enjoyable for me. And it helps me with prolonging my first meal, which is usually lunch, later and later in the day. And I have all these bizarre strategies and tricks that I use. Like, say, for example, I do get hungry around, I don't know, maybe 1:30 or 2, and maybe I don't want to eat lunch. Maybe I just want to do dinner today and that's it. I have a case of sparkling water in my pantry, and then I'll like drink a 350 milliliter can of sparkling water. and like the carbonation, it really fills up your stomach and blunts your hunger. So again, it's like another thing that I've practiced for years. I know all the benefits of, I know how to use it. I know that like there's all these tools when it comes to, you know, prolonging your fast that I've read about and I've studied, but I still feel like an imposter when I talk about them. It just feels so strange. So I don't know. It's yeah, the imposter syndrome, it's definitely like a bizarre thing. I don't really struggle with it though. Just maybe like from time to time it comes up, but that's about it. I need to get some water. Anything straight from the heart is acceptable. Maybe it's more about lack of belief in your own abilities rather than the belief that you need to practice them regularly. Anything straight from the heart is acceptable. Yeah, it's just it's interesting because like we can talk about the benefits of yoga, and even though I've maybe only gone to like 3 or 4 hot yoga classes like ever, like the benefits of those sessions and the way that I felt after was just like amazing. It was such a rewarding experience that I can see, and I agree with all the benefits of anyone that preaches, you know, like adding yoga to your exercise routine or adding yoga to your workout regimen. Like I 100% support anyone that promotes yoga in any way. But I think my issue is like, because I don't have much personal experience with the practice itself, I feel like my words wouldn't do that subject justice because I don't have the proper amount of life experience of actually doing it to where I could give you a proper assessment of what to expect. Because if we were to have a conversation about intermittent fasting, and you were to ask me with like, oh, how do you deal with the ghrelin spikes, your hormone that regulates hunger? How do you deal with feeling hungry, or the headaches, or the struggles, or how do you deal when people want to go and have lunch with you? Like I've have years and years of experience of how to control my hunger and how to deal with those type of situations that I'm 100% confident in the information that I would tell you. Now, if you would ask me about, oh, how do I get over the hydration issues of hot yoga, or how do I get over the mental issues or the struggles or the body aches and pains, and I'd be like, I don't really know because I haven't done it enough. So I think like that's where my problem lies, is like the lack of real world experience with the actual habit or tool is what makes me apprehensive about talking about it. So, but I know what you mean. Like if it comes from the heart, like it does make sense, but still like I want it to come from the heart, but I also want it to be backed by real world experience. And for you guys to know that I actually put in the work, right? I put in the time. Oh, well, I gotta catch up. I think there should be a travel section. I don't know if you have traveled a lot, but if you have, go through your mind of stuff you would have done better or different, or something like that, I guess. I don't know. I haven't written a book before, if you couldn't tell from my writing. Travel? I've traveled a bunch of places in the US, been to the Caribbean a bunch. I lived in Bermuda as a child for like 5 years. Been to some parts of Europe. I've been to Switzerland, Austria, Italy, Germany. A couple years ago, I went to Asia, went to China, Japan, South Korea, Thailand. So I've traveled decently. Been to Hawaii, pretty cool. Been to the Bahamas. Some of those were like for poker tournaments, which was wild. I went to like a poker tournament in the Atlantis Casino in the Bahamas, in Nassau, Bahamas. That was wild. Imagine like going on vacation to like a paradise island. Like it's literally called Paradise Island. And instead of like going there to go to the beaches and to be outside and the sun, like I was there to go to the casino and play in a tournament. It's like wild. Yeah, I have a bunch of wild crazy stories when it comes to travel. But it's kind of weird because I'm not someone that loves traveling per se. I'm actually like a homebody. Is that the word? Homebody. Like I love being at home. Like right now it's Saturday. Like it's the weekend. It's 1 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon. And it's beautiful outside. It's summer in Canada. Like our summer is so short. We have like a 2 to 3 month summer. And what am I doing? Am I outside at the beach or at the park with my friends or like meeting people? Am I going out and doing stuff on a Saturday like everyone else? No. I'm voluntarily choosing to stay home and do like a live stream because I love to just stay at home, be in my space, be in my office, talk to you guys, learn things, right? And I know that traveling and going out, it's cool and it's an exciting thing to do. But at the end of the day, like I love to just stay home. I love to just stay home and work on things, write things, learn things. Maybe that's part of my more introverted part of my personality. Like I consider myself as someone who's ambiverted. Is that a word? Ambiverted? An ambivert, like someone who is sort of in between an extrovert and an introvert, where I like to do things at home. I like to stay at home, but also I have no problem going out with large groups of people and talking in a public setting. I have no social anxieties or issues with talking to tons of people or talking to new people. Like, so on one side, I am extremely extroverted, but on the other, I can be extremely introverted at times. So it's like a weird thing. I don't know how else to describe it. Maybe try a challenge where you try learning everything from your book within a month, then do monthly updates to keep you motivated in the practice. Once you feel your own results, you can know the results. Oh, that's interesting. Try a challenge where I try everything from my book. Oh, that'd be pretty cool. So you're basically saying that I should practice what I preach, right? That I kind of like that. That's pretty cool. Now, is there anything from my book? Let me see. Okay, so I have 7 chapters with 7 different habits. So maybe if I could even make a video out of this. Like, what if I documented me taking all the advice that I put out into my book and apply it to myself and document the process of following all 7 of those habits strictly every single day for a 30-day period, and then see what the results were and see how I feel. Yeah, that'd be an interesting concept to try. I've been fasting for 22 years. Whoa, 22 years? Dang, Forrest, I didn't know that. Holy, so you're like way more experienced with fasting than I am. Oh my gosh. Not even water. Oh, so you've done dry fasting before. Oh my gosh, that's wild. And I can tell you everything you feel and know about fasting will change at least 2 times as you get older. Huh. Everything you feel and know about fasting will change at least 2 times as you get older. So it's going to change as I practice it more and more. I've never tried the dry fasting though. Like I have some friends who are Muslim that they do the dry fasting for Ramadan. I believe that's the holiday, right? Ramadan. But I've always done my fasting periods with extreme amounts of liquid. Like I've never even tried or thought about the dry fasting stuff. But I know, like, I have friends that have done it for their religious holiday, and they're fine. Like, you don't die, obviously. But for whatever reason, I've never really considered it. Damn, 22 years, Forrest. You got me crushed. You got me crushed by 15 years. Oh man. I haven't for 22 years, but a little bit, and my problem is weight, and it's helped a lot. So I would recommend fasting. When I went to PEI, do you mean PEI in Canada, or is that a different PEI? Because in Canada, PEI is Prince Edward Island. I went to PEI there for too short of a time, so crammed everything I wanted to do there for a 3-day trip, so it was less enjoyable. Yeah, fasting is another great thing for weight. It's huge for weight. It's also like, you know what one of the biggest benefits for me is? Like, you know when you get that craving for hunger, it's this hormone, it's called ghrelin. It spikes, and it kind of like spikes with your schedule of eating. So like if you eat at, I don't know, 8 a.m. breakfast every day, you're going to get that ghrelin spike at 8 a.m. every day because your body knows it's 8 a.m., this is the time we eat, this is our routine, and then bam, you get that ghrelin spike, and you get that hunger. But what I really learned about fasting is like when you get that hunger spike, if you just chug a bunch of sparkling water, or you just chug a giant glass of water and then just wait 10 minutes and fight that ghrelin spike, it will subside and it will go away. And it's very interesting because if you don't fast, you'll never know that. You just think, oh, I'm hungry. So your response is, I have to eat to satisfy that craving for food, to satisfy that feeling for hunger. Like no one likes that feeling of hunger. It's uncomfortable, right? Like, so you want to satisfy that feeling so you can go back to being normal. But if you just drink a ton of water and wait 10 minutes, then that feeling can go away as well. And I never knew that in the beginning. I always just thought, oh, I feel hunger, so my response should be food to satisfy that feeling. But it doesn't work like that, which is very interesting. And so now, like, when I do get those hunger spikes, I know exactly what to do and I know how to overcome them. And the answer is you don't have to eat. That doesn't have to be the immediate response. And it's kind of cool. It's an interesting thing because, maybe you're on vacation somewhere, or maybe you're on like a long hike and your stomach is killing you. And now you know how to overcome that hormone. Now you know how to control it and conquer it. It's something really cool that again, like one of the skills that I learned that I love, that like I know what to do in this situation, right? Whereas like some of my family members, for example, they get hangry, you get hungry, angry, and they just like can't function as a human being when they feel hungry, so they have to eat something. So it's just an interesting thing, right? Yeah, document your journey from the book. If it works, then publish the book, and the video will create more publicity of the book and create more content for your channel if you do mid-length content. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure yet. I guess we'll see once I write the book. So my plan is I'm definitely going to write ebook version, obviously. And then because I have the equipment and then like the microphone, I'm going to record an audiobook, which I'm going to read. I hate it when people make an audiobook and they pay like some actor to read it because they don't have like that connection to the words. And then I feel like actors, like especially voice actors, they always have this way of speaking, and then they read a book like this and they overextend their sentences, and it's like, I hate that voice. It's so like fake. And so if I'm going to write a book, I'm going to do the audiobook myself. And so I can maybe package that like on my website or something. I don't know. Maybe it could be like a product, like a form of passive income or something that I could have. I don't know, whatever. But I'm definitely going to write and read both versions. Oh, so it was Canada, PEI. Never been there. Never been to Prince Edward Island. That's like the far east coast of Canada. Oh, Bo, you're from Canada? Where? What part? I'll laugh if we're neighbors. I really want to try fasting, but I have an ogre appetite and I drink at least 2.5. You have an ogre appetite. Oh, you have an ogre appetite. Oh, an ogre appetite. Hey, Batiste, don't worry, man. I have a wild appetite too. Like when I used to go to like when I ate shitty food, I used to go to Burger King on Wednesday for like Whopper Wednesdays. You know, you get like a Whopper. I don't know if you have Burger King in France, but like in North America, like every Wednesday was like Whopper Wednesday at Burger King. Well, you must have Burger King in France. What am I saying? And like most people would get like, you know, like a one Whopper combo. I get 4. I get 4 Whoppers. It was like crazy disgusting how much I can eat. It's the same thing when I go to like an all-you-can-eat sushi buffet. Like I'll eat 100 pieces. Like it's stupid. I have a crazy appetite too, where I can just overeat. It's ridiculous. Ooh, Ramadan lasts 30 days and it's never during the same time of the year. Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. It can be summer or winter, and yes, it's tough. I used to do it for at least 42 days in a year till 3. Oh, Forrest, you practice Ramadan? Oh, cool. 25 days is all I can do now, and it feels even. Dang, 25 days? You did 42 days. 42 days is a month and a half. Holy shit, that's crazy. What on earth? Dang, Forrest, that's wild. See, I've gone like... What's the longest I've gone? Like a day and a half? The longest I've gone is like 36 hours, and that's it. That's the longest I've gone. Maybe I should try one of these like more prolonged fasts. That sounds insane. 25 days. You can't go that long without water, bruh. Can't. Oh, Nova Scotia. Oh, okay. So you're on the East Coast. How far is I've never been to Nova Scotia. How far is Nova Scotia from where I am? Because Nova Scotia is all the way on the east coast of Canada. Do. Okay, so to drive to Nova Scotia, obviously, would you have to take a ferry, or there's a road all the way? Oh, I could drive all the way there. 17 hours. So I'm 17 hours away by car from you, Bo. Oh man, weaknesses, Batiste. One of my weaknesses is fruit. Sometimes I buy fruits for the week, but it clearly doesn't last that long. I also never buy cheese or ice cream because I have no self-control with those. Yeah, dude, tell me about it. Oh my gosh. Like, for me, not so much of the fruit, unless it's kiwis. Like, I have this like obsession with kiwi fruits, so I eat those. Like, I crush like a case of kiwis, easy. But ice cream, oh. Like, Tina will buy like these, like ice cream cones or whatever, like these drumstick ice cream cones, or just whatever. They come. I think there's 4 in a box. Like, I'll eat one every day as soon as we buy it. Like, they'll be gone in 4 days. Like, one a day, just bam, done. And then hers will last like 2 weeks. Like, she'll have an ice cream here or there or whenever. But it's like, my problem is that when I know that there's ice cream in the fridge, or if I know like there's like really good cheese in the fridge, or there's something, like if I know that food that I love is in the house at this very moment, I can't stop being fixated about it, and I can't stop thinking about it, and I just have to go eat it. Right? So I don't know. I'm sure you're probably like the same as me. If you don't buy it, then you know is not in your house. So then you won't think about eating it, right? I think that's the best solution for people like me and you, Baptiste. Like if I have like a really good cheese, like my favorite cheese is like that Emmenthal cheese. Like if I have some of that in the fridge, oof, like, or like a really good ice cream, oh man, like it's getting consumed. You are an hour behind me right now. It's 2:30. Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, it makes sense because Nova Scotia is on the East Coast, right? Yeah, so 1 hour time zone difference. Yeah, so PEI is right above you then, because Nova Scotia is all the way at the east, and then yeah, PEI is like right above. Oh, there's a road? Is there a bridge to get to PEI? Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, so Bo, you're enjoying your Saturday afternoon in our nice Canadian summer in the stream as well, like me. The only fruit I dislike is grapefruit. Oh man, yo, grapefruit is bomb. I love me some super sour grapefruit. I like all the other fruits. Yeah, grapefruit is another great tool for fasting. Like what I used to do with grapefruit, I don't do it as much anymore. But like in the morning, I'll have like an order of things that I would consume. Like I'd wake up, I'd have a bunch of water right away, and then I'd have some black coffee. Again, coffee is great at blunting your hunger. And then if I got hungry again, then I would drink a can of sparkling water to again blunt my hunger. And then if I was really desperate, if I still couldn't control my hunger, and I was really really hungry, but I wanted to prolong my fast for that day, then I would eat a grapefruit. And something about having like those more acidic fruits, like the grapefruit that's not as sweet, that's sort of like very sour, it's amazing at blunting your hunger and just controlling your cravings for food. So grapefruit was something that I would eat strategically from time to time. Also an apple works pretty good too. Also because like you don't have to cut it up. Like an apple, you just grab it, wash it, and eat it, right? Grapefruit is a little bit more work because you got to cut it up and all that. But yeah, grapefruit was something that I love to eat to prolong my fast, because for whatever reason it always just like kind of made me feel full. I think because it's not as sweet, it's like more sour, right? But yeah, I love me some grapefruit. Whoa, yo, the stream, we peaked at 12 viewers. Yo, that's cool. I love hearing from you guys in the chat. Oh hey, can you guys hit the like button? Actually, hit the like button if you enjoyed the stream. I think it definitely helps me out in some way. I'm not sure how, but yeah, hit that like button if you want to see more streams. Oh, you know what's interesting about YouTube? They got rid of like you can't see how many dislikes you get anymore, right? You guys notice that? Like before, it would show you like how many likes and dislikes like your videos would get. Now it's like you can't even see that information anymore. So I actually don't mind. I don't mind the dislike button either. You know, because sometimes I always like getting feedback. I think feedback is important. Like if I have a terrible stream, or if I have a video that you guys think is wrong or in poor taste, or that just straight up sucks, like I'd like to know. Like I would like to know why. Like, you know, leave me a comment and tell me why the video sucks. You know, and dislike it if you really think it sucks. You know, let me know, because then it helps me with like, oh, maybe I need to rethink my perspective on the subject, or maybe I didn't put enough effort into the video. Like I think feedback is super super important. Yes, there's a bridge in New Brunswick. and a ferry that goes from Nova Scotia. The bridge is 12 kilometers long, and I think it's the longest bridge in Canada, if not the world. I don't know, I haven't Googled it. Oh. Yeah, because I've heard of people driving down the East Coast. It's like a super interesting drive. Like, it's like a lot of great scenery and like nature to see. You still can, just gotta download an extension. Oh, okay. Like a Google Chrome extension or something? You know, to be perfectly honest, like there's all these... YouTube changes so much stuff that there's things that I miss. Like I don't even notice. Because I'm always like obsessed with like what have they changed for creators. And this is sort of like... One thing that makes me really happy is YouTube adds a lot of functionality for their streams. Like when I started these live streams, like what was it, like a year ago or whatever, it was so clunky. Like the OBS software didn't like work well with YouTube, and it was really hard to like set a thumbnail or schedule a stream date and time. Like everything was so messy when it came to streaming on YouTube. And in the beginning, I was streaming on Twitch, which is way easier. Streaming on Twitch is super easy, and it's such a more streamlined experience for the creator. Like you just get on there, you log in, you hit stream, and you go. Whereas YouTube, it's sort of like a bit more clunky. You gotta figure out a thumbnail, right? You gotta set like a thumbnail for your stream. You gotta change the title and all these other things, right? So I've been super happy with the amount of changes that YouTube has made recently to the platform. It's been very beneficial for creators, for someone like myself. It just makes things a lot more easier. And I'm someone who believes in the YouTube platform, and I have more faith in the future of YouTube streaming than I do than in Twitch, which is sort of why I kind of left Twitch. I stopped streaming there, and I just moved my stream entirely here to YouTube. Because then also like there's one less step for you guys to get to my content. Like say if I had this stream on Twitch, it'd be annoying for you guys. Like say if you wanted to watch a stream but it's not on YouTube and you had to go to Twitch. Like what if you don't have a Twitch account? You gotta like go make one, and you gotta go find me. Like it's just annoying, right? It's just easier to have it all here. You get the notification. Like I hope you get the notification. You just hit it, it loads, and you're good. And that's it. And so I don't know, I feel like the experience for me as a creator, it's a lot more enjoyable. And it's something that I definitely want to keep doing in the future. Dude, no dislikes have been gone for a year. Oh, it's been a year. That's interesting. You kind of look like an elf. Yo, getting roasted, bro. Getting roasted. Yeah, I have super pointy ears. I don't know if you can see it. You see this? Like I have an earring. Which ear? This ear is probably better. There's no earring here. Like the tips, like is this the tip? The top of my ears are super pointy. Like when I used to have like if I were to shave my head, like if I didn't have hair, right? Like my ear, it sticks out so much. Like it's not like, you know, some people's ears, they're like kind of flat. Mine are like this. They stick out like really bad. And the top is like super pointy. I remember when I was a kid, I got my head shaved once for the summer. And then that was when I realized, oh my God, my ears are huge. And they had like this point at the top. And then all my friends were like laughing at me. And at the time, you know, when you're a little kid, you're insecure, right, about how you look. You know, and you makes you feel bad. It hurts your feelings, right? And it was something that I was always like self-conscious of, like of the way I looked. But now, you know, I'm older. I don't care. You guys can roast me all you want, and I can take it in stride. I actually think it's funny. Yeah, I do have super pointy ears, bro. So I think your definition of an elf is fair. It just makes me laugh. Yeah, that's so funny because I haven't heard that in so many years. Like I forget, right? I always forget. But yeah, the shaved head look for me, it's not a good one. It's I can't pull that off. It's definitely not a good look. uh, I should move. I should move that. This is like getting in the way of the chat. Is that better? Or does that still block the chat? I always wanted to try shaving my head once. Oh man, really? You want to shave your head for us? But I'm not brave enough. Yeah, that's yeah, especially for women. That's tough, right? Like that's a tough look. That's a commitment. Because like when you shave your head, like the hair does grow super fast in the beginning, but to get it back to like a woman's hair, like I have hair like a woman, right? Like my hair that goes past my shoulder. Like this takes years. It takes a couple years. Especially if your hair doesn't grow super fast once it gets longer, but man. You should dress up as one for Halloween. You would look sick. You know what? I'm super excited for Halloween this year because my daughter Tiffany, she loves watching like Halloween videos on YouTube. Like she's always watching these like Halloween videos. Like she's always talking about like skeletons and scary ghosts and all these like funny things and pumpkins. So like as a father, I'm super excited to like I can probably going to maybe buy some decorations for my house. Maybe do like that whole, what do you call it? When you buy the pumpkin, you carve it out and you put the light. Oh, making a jack-o'-lantern. That's what you call it, right? A jack-o'-lantern. Where you carve out all the insides of the pumpkin and you like make a face and put a light inside. Like just that whole like spirit or festive spirit, or I don't know what you would call it. It's not a holiday. Halloween's not a holiday. Tradition, festivities, or I don't know, whatever Halloween is. I'm super excited and looking towards it this year as it's one that I'm going to enjoy with my kids. And that's another great thing too. Like it lets you as an adult be a kid again. You know, I can take my daughter trick or treating. We did it last year when she was like 1.5. But she doesn't understand. Like she's too young, right? We dressed her up as a pineapple, and we went door to door, and she didn't really understand what trick or treat was. So, but yeah, I'm super excited for Halloween this year. It's gonna be awesome. Just like taking my daughter around the block, especially now that we moved. Like we moved, we got settled into our new house, and this is probably like this home that we moved into. It's probably like my forever home. Like for at least 20 years, 15, 20 years minimum, I'm going to live here. I don't see myself moving anytime soon. Like it's in the neighborhood that we wanted to live in. It had a basement for my studio. It had schools that were close by for my kids. It had everything, right? So this is probably going to be it. I think I'm done with moving. And moving sucks, bro. Like having to move to list your house, sell it, buy a new one, pack up all your stuff. Like even just like your furniture, your couch, your chairs, your dining room table, your bed, your computer, your desk, all your clothes, all your stuff, all your things in the garage and your tools and like blankets and pictures and oh man, I'm so tired of moving because we moved like many times. It's like, getting a house was something that was on like my long-term list of life goals for like the longest time. I just wanted to have like not like a massive house, like even this house that we bought, like I'm saying it's my dream house, but it's like a semi-detached home. So this wall that's like right in front of me, it's connected to another house. So like right behind this wall is like another family, right? So like yeah, my dream house, but is it like one that's detached on like a massive property? No, it's not. It's less than eight. It's what's the square footage? 1,800 square feet. I guess maybe for some people that's big, but for others it might not be. I don't know. But I'm happy. Right, I'm super happy with what I got. I'm super happy where I am, and now I just sort of want to enjoy life. Right, you know, enjoy my life here, make a home here, you know, do the work that I love to do here. The office it's getting there. I painted this part gray. It kind of works better than this green. And you can see back here, the green is okay, but I don't know. It's just it's a work in progress. And then I'm also building out like the podcast studio. I want to have like a studio here in the basement where it's, if someone wants to do like a podcast, like a live podcast, or we can like talk face to face, there'll be an extension to my desk where, you know, we can sit and hang out and chill here. But that's like a super long term project. Like I created the podcast with like the intention that it's going to do nothing for 5 years. I'm just going to do it, work on it, post episodes when I can, try to get better at speaking and communicating, and sort of like work on my sentences, work on the way I speak, you know, try to say less ums and uhs and likes, and work on my stutter, like work on speaking clearly. Like these are all things that I think about and I work on a daily basis because they're important to me. Like when you watch this stream or any of my videos, like I want you guys to know like I'm constantly trying to improve. Like I want to be better. I want to be more educated. I want to be smarter. I want to have a better perspective. I want to speak better. I want to communicate better. I want to grow. And that's what the self-improvement thing is becoming the best possible human being you can. You know, and sharing that experience, and hopefully some of these ideas can help you guys as well. Like that's my intent with all this work that I do. And so it's important to me, right? It's super important because like I don't want to be that guy that, you know, when I stream and you guys can be like, oh, it's going to be the same old thing. There's going to be nothing new. You know, it's going to be the same Derek from last year. He's not going to improve anything or get better. Like, I don't want to be stagnant, right? I like progression in my life. I like working towards goals, right? Because it makes me happy. You know, seeing the progression, especially when I look back. Like when I go back and I watch, like, let's say AMA 5. Like if I were to go back and watch like the 5th live stream, I'm just so uncomfortable. Like I'm all like tight and tense, and there's no, like, I'm not relaxed. There's no comfort level, right? So it's something that's important to me, and one that I want to work on. I have no idea how I got onto this subject. I just went on to like a wild tangent. Oh yeah, Halloween. We were talking about Halloween. How do we go from Halloween to talking about the live stream? That's so funny. Sorry, I ramble a lot. That's another thing that that I have to work on, is like the rambling. I always get like too excited when I'm talking about something, and then I'll like talk about this and then talk about that, and then go on a tangent here, then make a left turn there and veer right, and then make a U-turn and go back to this, and I'm all over the place, and I don't have like clear direction in some of my thoughts sometimes, which is something that I definitely want to work on. But you know, it's just what it is. Hashtag homeostasis. Wow, that is a word I haven't read in a long time. Homeostasis. Let me make sure I get the definition of that so I know what we're talking about here. Okay, yeah, okay. just making sure. It's funny. Hashtag homeostasis. I like that, Forrest. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I don't know. I think I think growth is cool, man. Growth is super cool, super important, right? To have goals to work towards. And I think it's a great thing to have, because like so many people get caught up in like the end result. So many people get caught up in chasing success or chasing wealth, and they think that like when they get there, or when they achieve X amount of dollars, or when they get the house, or when they buy the car, or when they get that thing, then they'll be happy. But at the end of the day, it's not, right? I find happiness in the journey, along the path. And when I hit the goal, or hit the achievement, or hit the milestone, there is a tiny moment of excitement, of passion and joy, but then that quickly fades away. And then it's all about, what is the next goal? What is the next mountain to climb? Right? What do you want to achieve next? What do you want to do with your time? And what do you want to do with your life? And that is what's important, is enjoying the journey. And that's huge for me, right? Because now it's not just about the goals. Like I know the house was like a goal that I had for years. And when I finally got it and achieved it and we moved in, I was extremely happy, right? But I knew to take it in stride, right? Because now it's not just I have a house and I'm done. It's also I want to maintain it. I want to build the studio. I want to have a nice backyard for my kids can play in. There's like a water table that you can fill with water, and there's a sandbox back there. And there's toys. Like it's just cool, right? It's just cool to have something to work towards, and it gives me fulfillment in my life. Did you or do you have nicknames that people used to or still call you? For me, it's Bo or Bobo. Yeah, so I have like a nickname or an alias, which is Doikido, which I've gone with like my whole life. It's actually the name of this YouTube channel. It's the name of my YouTube channel. It was the name of my Instagram account, my Twitch. What else? It was the name of everything. Like I have this name Doikido, it's Doikito, and what it basically was is Doik was like this goof of a name, like my friends would call me. Like Doik is kind of like sounds like a clown, and then Ito is my mom's maiden name. So like for like the longest time, I just combined it, and it was like my alias or my handle for like gaming and my email and all this stuff. It's just Doikido. And my license plate, I have a license plate. It's Doikido. It's here somewhere. I don't know where it is. I'd show you. I think it's in a box back there. I don't want to get it though. But yeah, that was like my nickname, Doikido, and people just call me Doik. People still do now. A lot of my close friends just call me Doik. No one really calls me Derek, which is I don't know, but it was like I decided to change like my YouTube name to my full name, and the Instagram. I changed everything to just my full name, and I was like, I want to be authentic. Like I talk about authenticity and transparency and things. These are things that I believe in and that are important. And I'm like, why am I hiding behind this like alias? Like I want people to know me for who I am. This is my name. This is, I don't know, whatever. It was like something that was important to me. So I changed the account to everything. So everything now is just Derek Bearsy, my full name. So my last name is an interesting one though, because I mispronounce it all the time. Like I just say Bearsy, like because I'm like lazy, but it's actually like Italian. So you would say like Biartzi, but then like also like my, I guess like my dad's side of the family, like Italian people, when they came to like, I guess North America, or when they moved out of Italy, they were trying to assimilate with other cultures. So I think my name is like missing a letter or two. I think there's like supposed to be like an N-O at the end, like a Berzino, like it's like a super Italian name. But then when they moved, they kind of changed it and removed a couple letters, which I find very strange, right? Because Italian people are super proud people, right? I always found it weird, like how come they wanted to assimilate to other cultures and they changed their names to sound less Italian? I was like, huh. So I think it was supposed to be like Berzino, then it turned into Biartzi, and then now I just say Bearsy, right? Because it's just like North American, the word bear, and then Z-I or Z-I. Yeah, that's That's just what it is. It's kind of funny. And if you search, if you do like Google searches for like people with the last name Bearsy, there's like nobody. There's like literally nobody, because it's not a proper last name, because it's like missing letters, right? So like if you were to search out for people with Bearsy, there's me, my brother, there's my dad. My wife doesn't have my last name, so there's the three of us. My daughter and my son have my last name, so there's five of us. Who else? Oh, my mom, that's six. And then that's it in Canada. There's only six of us that I know of. And then my dad's family, who kept that last name, they're like in Europe, right? So, and there's not a lot of them. So this is like an interesting thing. It's like not many people have this last name that I have. And I was like, oh, that's pretty unique. I kind of like that. Like, that's kind of cool. So then that was part of the reason why I'm like, let's just change everything to my full name. And I just sort of like just dropped my nickname altogether. Like, I'll still use it for something random. I don't know, like Telegram or WhatsApp, or I don't know, if I was just to play some random game, then I would just go back to Doikido. But yeah, not many people call me Derek. Most people just call me Doik. It's kind of funny. Sounds kind of weird, right? But yeah, that's just what it is. It's a pretty long story for just a name. You know what's crazy about that though is even my mom's family, even them, like when they moved from like Japan to Canada, they also tried to assimilate to North American culture and change all of their names too. Like my my grandfather's name was Yoshio, and he changed his name to Joe, like to like kind of fit in Canada, right? And so I was like, oh man, I love that name Yoshio, because it sounds like Yoshi from Super Mario. So my son, when he was born, we gave him the middle name Yoshio. It's like respect to my grandfather. So maybe my son's nickname will be Yoshi as he grows up. Who knows? So yeah, that's it. Oh, yo, it's almost 2 o'clock. Dang, how long have we been streaming for? We've been streaming for 2 hours? Where's the timer? Isn't there a timer somewhere? It must be, because I started at 12, right? Yeah, 1:57. Dang. Okay, so we did do 2 hours. That's interesting. That was a fast 2 hours. We barely scratched the surface on the book, but I think it was still definitely enjoyable. Is there anything else we missed? Do you guys want to talk about anything else? Man, that was fast. Maybe okay, maybe I'll work on the rest of the chapters of the book for the next 2 weeks. So I've gone through chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I haven't gone through 5, 6, or 7. Maybe that'll be my goal for the next stream. I can maybe give you guys an update with where I'm at, what I'm thinking about, and what I'm working on. But yeah, definitely welcome any recommendations for what I should add to it to make it better. It's a disease? What's a disease? Yeah, the interesting thing is though, how many pages does it have to be? Like should it be short? Like, what is short? Like 100? 200? Like, I wonder, is there like a certain length that I should aim for? Like, I have no idea how to do any of this stuff. Like, should I just write to my heart's content and then just figure it out? Or should I aim for a certain number? Yeah, there's a lot I gotta figure out, man. This is gonna be a big project. So my plan is just every day, just maybe write a little bit. I think will be the goal. Just kind of, because you know what it is, like if you really want to write a book, right? That is like that's a daunting task to start, right? Like think about it. Like if you want to write a book, like that's a huge project, right? There's so much to think about. Title, right? Content, chapters, length, niche, subject matter. Like what is it going to be about? Is it going to be fiction, nonfiction, storytelling? Like what perspective is it going to be written in? Yeah, I don't think you should think about page. Yeah, I think you're right, Forrest. I should probably just write to like, and then just whatever it ends up, right? But like this, like the task as a whole is so daunting for me that it's always held me back from starting. So I think if I just start, and then every day just write a little bit, right? Just maybe half an hour here, 20 minutes there, and just write a little bit, whatever I'm thinking about, put it in there, and then just, I'm assuming it's going to take a year or two at least, right? I would think. It's definitely going to take a couple of years. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. But yeah, I'll forget about the pages. I'll just go with it and see what happens. Canavan, how does one get to keep that last name? It's a disease. Canavan disease? Really? Canavan disease. Canavan disease is a gene-linked neurological disorder which the brain degenerates into spongy tissue riddled with microscopic fluid-filled spaces. Canavan disease has been classified as one of a group of genetic disorders known as how do you say that word? Leukodystrophies. Leukodystrophies? Oh my gosh. Jeez. It's like a serious maybe they named it after one of your ancestors. It's Scottish. Canavan. Yikes. Oh, the Canavan disease is inherited, which means it's passed down from parents to children. A mutation in a gene that makes an enzyme called aspartolactase causes the disease. ASPA's job is to break down a brain chemical called I can't say that word. Yikes. Man, the brain degenerates into spongy tissue. That sounds crazy. Yeah, that's a wild name. All right, I think we'll end the stream on the subject of Canavan disease. That was a super awesome stream, guys. I'm gonna end it shortly. So let's aim for the next stream to be on the 27th. So the 27th is actually the date for that film festival that I applied to. Sadly, I didn't get accepted to it. I received an email saying that my piece wasn't selected. They didn't really give me a reason why, which is fine. I'm sure there was tons of applicants. But if you guys missed it and you want to see the short film that I made, it's only like 3 minutes long. It's on my page. It's titled Your Life or Your Device. Would really appreciate it if you guys checked it out. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about it, or even just tell me like what type of content you want to see from me in the future on this channel. I'm definitely going to keep up the live streams, like I usually always reiterate every stream, once every 2 weeks, hopefully. I'll throw in shorts every now and then, whenever I can, and I have a lot more stuff planned for the future. I do have podcasts coming out this week with a fellow YouTuber and a vegan, guys, which is pretty cool. So you guys can check out that. And I have my newsletter that I've been sending out every month. If you guys want to check out the newsletter, just go to derekbearsley.com. You can sign up for the newsletter. I send it usually at least once a month. And then why can't I talk? Also, the previous month's newsletters are all archived on the website, so you can read them if you miss them. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, thanks for everyone who came by in the stream. Bo, Forrest, Red, especially Ligma. Ligma, that was awesome, your story. Batiste, of course, Swen, and everyone else who's watching this stream after it's gone live. You know, I really appreciate talking to you guys and connecting, as that's one of the most fun things that I get to do as a creator, and just have these conversations and hang out for a couple hours on a Saturday afternoon. It means a lot to me. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's super cool that we get to do this, and I can't wait for the next one. So everyone, have a good weekend. Have a good rest of your Saturday and Sunday, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.